So we have. Oh, it's a ZVZ. No way. We have ourselves Nivu. I'm just trying to think of how I want to pronounce his name for the sake of casting. OhneNiveau? Maybe there's a different language. I'm just going to call him Own. Own sounds good to me. And YadeCin. YadeCin? Yade. He's going to be Yade from now on, up here in the top left. Alright, so it is a ZVZ. It is a best of 3. We are in the semifinals. And yeah, gold level players. And like I say, I haven't casted too many tournaments that are gold level, so I'm really excited. I hope these guys have a good time. And we're playing on Ohana. I love me Ohana. It was one of my favorite maps at the time when this was part of the actual map pool. But one of these players was random, and I believe it was Yade who was random. I think. I can't recall. Pretty sure it was him who was random. So we'll see if that's going to factor into how both these players play. It's a 9 pool. OhneNiveau. Maybe he was random. Well, either way, because if I was playing against a Zerg player and he doesn't know I was Zerg, I would probably be going for pressure. Vice versa, if I was a Zerg player and I was playing against a random and I don't know what's going on, I would be playing fairly, I would say standard, but defensive. Because I'd want to be able to make sure I would survive. Now, I does see the Overlords. They see each other, so they know it's a ZVZ. This fast scout from Yade, I think, is very important. He's going hatch first. Maybe he will cancel once he scouts. He will not scout in time. This could just be a build order win. We'll see. If he doesn't see those Zerglings pop, this would have to be a sick hold. Pool is down. At least he didn't go gas before pool. That'd been sucky. So all of the Zerglings are out now. And he sees them with this watchtower. Now what do? Well, send that guy home because he needs the help. First of all, it doesn't do you much good to leave that one guy there. He does cancel, but he's left the guy. I actually wouldn't have canceled it yet. If you leave the hatch down there to build, what you can do is you can sometimes delay these Zerglings longer, right? So that's why I like leaving that hatch for a while. Cancel at the last minute, and you buy yourself more time for your pool to get out. Right now, he's going to take a ton of damage, almost guaranteed. Oh no, Droney. Droney Brony got rolled. Not the best place for the spine. I would start that in the mineral line. He did actually get one of those Zerglings, but you start this in the line so he can defend it. This Zerg player here, double spine. I don't know about that, and that's also not a great place for it. He does get the cancel off and saves the worker, but this spine once again is just going to get totaled. Did he cancel? Oh, it didn't get canceled either. Very unfortunate. So if we look at the actual units wise, we actually got still a ton of, wow, follow-up. That would have been a great time to just drone up more, I think, personally. He's going for gas. This is all-in ski, all-in. Whereas he's going back to droning. He does have a queen out now. Get the queen in the middle line. It's very important to do that because you can surround that queen with drones and keep it alive. This big pile of Zerglings, which I don't know if it was scouted or not. And he's going back to droning now. This is so strange. Bring these guys with you. Bad timing. Another free drone. Very unfortunate. 3 spines going down. This is, well, it is all in, but this is rather rash, I guess I would say. Queen in the back doing some damage. Oh, the queen's getting surrounded. Drones are fighting. A lot of these Zerglings weren't rallied perfectly. He's going to lose so many drones. Oh, no. Queen's going to go down. And there's the GG. Oh, man. Well, at least we got one cheese in there somewhere. No, he's not leaving yet. There's the leave. Score screen. That, a little unfortunate, I'm going to say. I actually thought that, wasn't... Once again, Gold League. One spine in the mineral line that you could have surrounded and left there. Perfect. You would have been able to hold off a lot of stuff. He was up in drones. He had a queen out. I think he could have transitioned out of that, but not scouting that follow-up Zergling attack. was enough to just end it. And I think that's why you need those overlords in position to know what's happening and keep one of those spines alive. Because they're always going to be helpful for you in a ZVZ. Always. So we'll be waiting for game number 2. Give me the invite. But yeah, once again with that, and those ZVZs and those tough spots, yeah, it's all about scouting in ZVZ. You really need to know if you're going to have, 20 links come at you, because you can defend in time, right? You can get that stuff going. If you just held that off. I know there's a baneling nest coming after that, but if you're able to hold that off, eventually get down to an expansion, maybe get a wall up or something, they've been fine. Tough though. It's just how it is. Oh, when did that come in? There we go. There's our next game. Still random. So yeah. Whoa, Jesus. That scared the hell out of me for a second. That's what happens when you have cats that like to jump off random things. We're just waiting for OhneNiveau here to jump in. There we go. Game number 2 underway. SeKo Starcraft, enjoying myself some coffee, and a lot of random animals around me right now. Yeah, it's keeping it real. Ooh, Daybreak. For Zerg versus Random, I love Daybreak. Playing as or against Zerg is one of my favorite maps for this matchup. It is a ZVZ again. Oh man. Once again, it is random, so he doesn't know. Oh, he does say ZVZ. I don't know if he said that in the first game or not. But, once again, it is another Zerg versus Zerg. I think YadeCin could have won that first game with a little bit of better planning. Once again, starting those spines. If you're going up against somebody who's doing a ton of Zergling attacks, make your spine inside of your mineral line. What that allows you to do is protect it with your drones and hold position around it. So very, very powerful. Also, in that position, very important, is to have overlords in position of all the rally points. Again, the map like this, you've got 2 major chokes. You get your overlords there. You can easily see anything that leaves the map, and it's easy to run them up onto the high ground if a queen comes out to bugger with you. So that's why it's very important. Fast scout once again. Cats are playing with my microphone cord. Might have to lay down some law on these guys. But goddamn it, cat. On this side, it looks like they're going to go for the identical builds here. Just only really scouting from the one orange Zerg player. I like scouting in ZVZ, though, depending on the map, overlords quite often can handle most situations to be able to scout everything. So, in this map, though, there's a lot of different angles you can run with Zerglings. It's actually speed before, pool and gas, so actually it's pool and gas for both. Might see some nice Zergling Baneling attack stuff fights. Here's gonna leave one drone down here just to make sure. Maybe not. Everybody's starting gas right away. No hatches yet. Everybody's pretty set on just fighting to the death on one hatch, it looks like. Which is really strange. Oh well, we'll see what they can do with it anyways. I bet they're both going to go for speed. I thought it'd be funny to go for Zergling and Baneling, but you always see Zerglings going across the map if that was the case. So, What are we going to do at this point here? I'd like to see one of them take a hatch at some point. But maybe that's just not in the cards. Maybe these guys really just want to go and smash faces against each other. It's actually starting a spine. Once again, this is not a great spine location, just because it's easy to surround with Zerglings, and it takes longer for your drones to get there. So if you're building one defensive spine, the positioning of it is very, very important. On this side, actually he's got one spine and a Baneling nest. Both have speed. This is so strange. Both of these guys just know that they're cheesing each other. Well, not necessarily cheesing, but just fighting each other in the face. What are we going to see next, though? Because he's droning still, whereas the other guy's building nothing but lings. If you're building nothing but lings, you don't need a spine because you have a lot of lings. So this is a little confusing to me. I get it for our orange Zerg player because he's not building a ton of Zerglings right now. More queens. If you are going to be playing defensive, getting more queens is nice. What I would do is probably put down a creep tumor and queen off the ramp and put the spine on the high ground. Where's that Baneling being made? Way back here. This is so strange. Like, why are these guys, they're playing defensive aggressive? Like, neither of them are really going to fight each other. Both have scouts in position to see if there's a second base. I'm weirded out at this point. This is gold league once again, right? Still. There's that creep tumor. Hatches, fairly equal timings. If you do see that hatch go down, you might as well run away with this overlord because you know there's going to be a queen on the way pretty soon. Likewise with this guy. You don't want to just lose one of those for free. Let's look at the overall units. The thing is, it looked like you can see the difference in, like, there's more drones for the green Zerg and more Zerglings. The only difference is the queen. He has that extra queen out faster, but he's down in economy. He's made more lings, but he hasn't been aggressive. Like, look at all these lings here. And a roach warren. Like, this is so backwards. If either of these players decided to just drone up heavy, like have an overlord in each of these corners to see if they're scouting and just put all that into drones, this orange Zerg could be up by a ton, or the green Zerg could be up by a ton. As it is right now, neither of them are actually in that good of a spot. They're just happily both in a bad spot, so it kind of keeps things moving at an equal pace. Should move that creep tumor along here pretty soon. Evo chamber. Weird. Just strange. Oh, looks like he's just going to get away. It's alright. This guy down here, I think, ran away as well. Sitting right there. It's nice to poke at that with a queen. Does have his own watchtowers and stuff. Like, this is the most passive-aggressive Zerg game I've seen in a long time. Like, they've invested in tons of army, but not, like, they've done nothing with them. It's so strange to see. At least with all these Zerglings, you could go out there and, because there's no Baneling nest. Like, these Zerglings are almost useless. There's Banelings for his opponent, and several of them in defense. And he's done nothing with them. That there's so little that these I expect to get done. His best hope is to, like, bury them somewhere and get a run-by attack once his opponent moves out. Because otherwise, I don't think they're going to get a lot done. In this position for me, and this is me playing because I play a lot, either Platinum or Diamond, what you'll see is this massive drones. Like, we're at the 8-minute mark, and our economy is pitiful. But to see the green Zerg player finally figure it out that nobody's going to attack him soon. Maybe I should make more drones. And he's ahead by 14 right now. A couple big swells of drones. Go up to layer or something like that. Be the first person with roach speed. Would be really nice. Get a plus. He's got that +1 attack on the way to 2-shot Zerglings. The green Zerg is getting into a great spot because he's not building army right now. The orange Zerg, who doesn't have layers, so his roaches would take forever to cross the map. It doesn't have banelings, so his Zerglings would be in a lot of trouble. He can't do anything with this army other than try to be defensive. Whereas on this side, with this huge economy lead, like it's gonna be double soon probably. It's ridiculous to think how, and the supplies are the same, right? But the difference is when the green Zerg decides to army up, he's gonna be able to forward so much more better units than what the orange player has. More spines going down, and they're useless right now because he's got vision. Like, you've got all these Zerglings, go take the watchtower, go take his base, put a Zergling to see the timing of the third. Like, you've got these mobile units, you have to find a way to make use of them. There's finally back to droning on this side here. Roaches, a spore crawler? Really? This is why you have overlords. Get overlord speed. Where's his overlords? Get overlord speed and go for a scout. See what's going on here. See if there's a spire. Because that's a drone plus 75 minerals for each of those. Pretty big investment. Not necessarily worth it. And if either of these players had just droned up for the last 10 minutes rather than making work, like attacking units, not use, they'd be at, you know, 80 drones and be maxing out on roaches in a couple of minutes. Which is how you see a lot of higher level players do. And that's, for me, a big difference between amateur players and really strong players, is knowing when to build what units. And right now, there's no reason to be building anything but workers and tech and overlords. Put an overlord here, you see, wow, he's moving out with his army. I better start roaching up huge, and then you defend it. Your best case scenario is to just barely hold off what they attack you with. And then you have this giant economy behind it that's just going to crush. Units-wise, pretty even in workers now. We're seeing a lot of roaches being made. But all these different upgrades, it's getting hydras. Don't worry about hydras. Like, hydras for me is like a late mid-game unit. You might as well max out on roaches once before you bother investing in getting any hydras out. That's my thought. Creep is not connecting the bases. If I was this orange Zerg, this is where you want to use those Zerglings to come in and get a surround and kill this. Great opportunity to do that. Force the Zerg player to be making more units rather than economy, which they're not building economy anyways. This is such a low econ game. And then a Hydraless Den from the other Zerg as well. And they're not going to invest in Hydras right now. It's too gas heavy. They don't have the ability to afford it right now. Don't throw away the Banelings. Banelings are good against bunched up roaches, but Banelings are going to be better against these bunched up Zerglings. Automaton. The creep would be nice to spread a bit further, connect your bases. Maybe move these spines down to this base as well. Once again, I like building those in the mineral line so they're easier to defend. Zerglings are look like maybe take a... No, go for the wraparound. There we go. This is a great attack. He can get in a lot of damage here. And he's attacking near the front at the same time. Now move in. Oh, he didn't get the queen. Does get the queen. Smartly, our green pro Zerg players not overcommitted into this one spot and lost everything. Units-wise, good economy lead once again for our green Zerg player. As the orange Zerg here, I'd be really weirded out, but you have all this pressure. Now is when I would be making tons and tons of workers. Wait, oh, he's going to push out now, retreat home, and then use the defender's advantage to be able to take a lead. 14 more workers, very smart. I like this a lot. I don't see our green Zerg player pushing out anytime soon. I do like that he has speed and he has overseers out, though. Very smart, in case you run up against somebody who's trying to be cute with a roach micro. Oh, wow. Those Banelings toasted. Which is good. He didn't really have much other use for those Banelings. Hydras are out now. They do have range, and I believe they have speed. Big pile of roaches getting made back on that side. About even in workers. Once again, I think he's retreated too far. I think if he stayed down here on this watchtower, it would be smart. He would know when his opponent was moving out, and then he could build more units behind it. Because as it is right now, neither of these guys are optimal when it comes to their economies. Pretty good saturation happening. We'll be taking those gases. Very hard to get lots of hydras out when you're on like 2 bases worth of gases. And also these bases are getting fairly mined out at this point as well. Does have the infestation bit, so he's going up to a really fast hive. Probably for the upgrades. It's just if you want to be cutesy. I really like doing like fungal and ultra. If you can get to that stage, pretty fun. Once again, no watchtowers taken right now. Like, have that watchtower, you'll see this army coming. You'll know what to do. Big pile of overlords being made. Pretty big supply block for both players actually at this one point. Our green Zerg player is not aware that this is the case. And they both have larvae to spend and money to spend. So that's just a bit of an oversight for him. Actually, he's getting melee attack right now, which is really strange unless he is going to be doing what I said, which is going to ultras. The reason why it's really tough is you invest in all these ranged upgrades. So when you get your ultras out, they generally don't deal that much damage. Or an ideal amount. I like this. Kind of a wall off. Oh no. We might get into that. If it turns into that, it'll probably be... It could be a 2-hour game. We'll see if it turns out that way. More Hydras coming out. Let's look at the upgrades here. 2-2 versus 2-1, actually. Upgrade advantage for our orange Zerg, but he needs all of his army together if he wants to fight this. Hydras are coming in a bit late to the party. Their range isn't quite finished yet, and they don't have speed either. Turn and fight. I actually think that would have been a pretty mutual fight for both of these players. Fourth base is going down, plus getting into early locusts. This would be a pretty crazy swarm host map. From right in the central spot, you can attack all 3 corridors and eventually siege up the fourth of the other player. No creep spread for our orange Zerg. Going to be a bit of a problem if he hasn't gotten Hydra speed out yet. Lots more banelings on the way. Big use of gas. Needs to start taking these gases pretty quick on this side. Big bank right now for our orange Zerg player. He is getting his infestation pit as well. There he goes and spends it all on more roaches. And he will bring himself up to about an equal supply. Banelings. If you're going to go with this baneling play, it can work, but you need like a lot. Oh, that is a lot of banelings. If you can get some good hits, it'd be really nice. If you see your opponent going for baneling play, you either need your own banelings to counter them, or you need to get fungals to be able to drop that down. I like this play. More static defense. Spore in every base just to be safe. And that creep spread to protect the front. Fourth base coming down here. Without creep, could be pretty easy to snipe. A couple of random Zerglings just scouting. So as opposed to the last game that was really quite aggressive, this game been very passive. He's taking those gases. Now it's about positioning. Really tough to fight down into this choke here. Likewise, very tough to fight up into the choke. Is he going to go for this? He's maxed, so he might feel obliged to. He's trying to spread out. A lot of free shots ended up getting off there first. Banelings are streaming in one at a time. Pretty good concave for our green Zerg player. But the orange Zerg player has got already more roaches on the way. 2-2 versus 2-1. Oh, wow, that did not go good. That concave smoked. 14 swarm hosts. So that means he's not going to have a lot of army here. Hopefully he doesn't lose it all. He could. He doesn't see this fourth base down, so I wonder if he assumes that this is where it's going to be. Queen over here in position. Probably needs to move some drones out of his main. Man, as soon as these swarm hosts come out and start shooting, though, that's probably just going to be GG. Fungals are on the way now. Still a big bank for our orange Zerg as well. Just can't spend that money well enough. At least he didn't go into swarm hosts as well. That could have gotten iffy. Enduring Locust is finished, but his creep spread's pretty stifled. He should be coming out here and moving that out a bit further. At this point, for me, build like a couple of macro hatches and then move all the queens to the front is what I like to do. And just be able to focus specifically on moving that creep. Should see all these locusts now and just be like, son of a bitch. The thing is, fungals can help. If you have the fungals out, what you can do is lock down a lot of the units in one spot and crush on top of them. We'll see if he's going to be able to pull that off or not. Going for a counter here. Now this is a good size army, well upgraded. But there's still a good chunk of army left for our green Zerg player. These spines are really slick. I like it as well. You know that your weakness is on your flanks. Those Zerglings kind of got thrown away. This is a great way to zone out a lot of the different attack paths. Overseers are out, but our orange Zerg player once again just can't spend his money. Does he have larva? He has 17 larva, not like the 60. Oh, he just spent it all. That the other person have. I don't know if these are all hotkeyed well enough. They should be. But he's not just spending his money well enough right now. 7 infestors. I'd like to see him get burrow as well. I mean, there's a lot of detection on the map. But if you have infestors out, burrow can be pretty helpful. Fall back. Oh no, this is gonna be GG right here. He got way too trapped. He's gonna lose everything. Just smoked. You know, he's making his own now. And he can afford it. Like, where's his gas, actually? That's what he needs, is gas. But he's got a lot of minerals. He can make a lot of them if he wishes to. We'll see if that's the case or not. Oh no, don't lose them. He's trying. Like, still, look at that bank for both of these players. Well, one's maxed out, so it's understandable. But for the other, look at all that money. That's a lot of swarm hosts you can make if you wanted to. He's making into zerglings. That's going to use up all of his larvae on stuff that does no damage. And that's actually going to be really unfortunate for him. The infestors do have burrow, but I don't know what he's going to hope to accomplish with them right now. If he was going to go shark tank some of these bases and do a big drop of infested Terrans, maybe. But with all that money to spend, that is another 10 swarm hosts right now. And that'd be enough to at least create a stalemate, I think. Yeah, I don't know how he expected that to work, personally. More zerglings once again. That's going to use up all of his larvae. The Vipers for me are really interesting in this equation. I mean, he can blind and cloud some stuff, I suppose, but he should be fighting behind the Locust, not in front of the Locust. But at this point, see, that doesn't matter. Like, blind and cloud the swarm hosts, that's got to be the most useless move I've ever seen in a game. That is really funny. They don't shoot anything. Anyway, whatever. That was just cute for me. Maybe that was just him, like, showing off, because that was really, really funny. And there's the GG. That was really, really silly. Oh well.